Hello, in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you all of this curriculum that we use this year. My name is Heather and I'm a homeschooling mom of two. So if you are just joining me right now on the live stream, welcome. And I want to share with you kind of a review of all of the curriculum that we use this year. This is a lot of curriculum and some of the changes that'll be happening coming up in this future year. But again, my name is Heather and let's see, I'm going to make sure this live chat is going great. So if you have a comment or a question, you can ask it below in the chat or over on the side in the chat, and I will get those questions from you. But I just wanted to come on today and say hello again and walk through the curriculum that we used for this year, which was 2017, 2018. We're still homeschooling, actually. We are a homeschooling family that homeschools year round. And so we are taking a month off and then we are a week off. We jump back into homeschool and then we're taking a month off after that. So we used a lot of curriculum. If you did not see that, this is a lot of curriculum. This is a lot. And I'm going to tell you my thoughts on that and what that looks like going forward for our family. So we started this year new in classical conversations. Now, classical conversations is a type of homeschooling, homeschooling classically, but you do it as a group. So there's a community aspect as well as the curriculum aspect of homeschool. And so this year we did foundations. So this is through classical conversations. This is the foundations guide, and it walks you week by week for 25 weeks. Oh, I can't remember how many weeks it was. It was a lot of weeks. It walks you through the different parts of history, science, art, math, timeline. What else did we learn? Science. There's an activity, Latin, English grammar, and geography. So we learned all of that together in our classical conversations homeschooling group. So that is actually a paid program, classical. So this is one part of curriculum that we use. This is what I consider like our spine for the year because we became a classical conversations family this year. So this was the basis, I guess you could say, of homeschooling. So if you're new to homeschooling, let me know in the comments. For a while? Are you looking for new curriculum? Where are you at, ladies? Tell me where you are in this homeschooling journey. We are 3 years in, a little over 3 years. No, about 3 years in. Yeah, it all kind of goes together after a while. So we're about 3 years in to homeschooling. We use a lot of different curriculums. We've used some of the same the entire time. And classical conversations this year was new for us. Will we be continuing? That is something that our family is not going to be continuing this year. We have some big news for our family this year. And so we will not be continuing classical conversations in the actual like community classical conversations, but we will be continuing a classical style model as we always have in our homeschool. So if you're new to my channel, we jumped into homeschool, and what felt right for our family was that classical and Charlotte Mason style. So I read a lot of books that I recommend and then don't recommend depending on the type of homeschool mom you are. But for us, that's what works best. And I just love to tell homeschool moms that it really does matter what works for your family. There's no right way or wrong way to do it. It could be unschooling works great for you. It could be that classical conversations works for you. It could be that, you use just one specific type of curriculum for all of your kids, or you could be using different kinds for each one of your children. It really does matter how your family works with homeschool. And so our family this year, we loved classical conversations. We thought it was a really great program, really cemented some things for our kids. But what I really liked was the support for parents. I felt like, when you jump into homeschool, you can get support from other homeschool moms, but sometimes you feel like, well, am I teaching them the right thing in the right order? It can all be different types of advice coming in. And what I liked about classical was the long game approach, actually, which is homeschooling through high school. For our family, that has been just something that we pray upon every year to decide if homeschooling is still right for us. And we've never really like put a stake in the ground saying that homeschooling through high school is something that we are going to do. But I'm just feeling more and more led that that's probably the direction our family's going. And what classical conversation gave us as a family was that long view approach, because they are going to group settings with kids as young as 4 all the way through high school. They're in these group settings. And so you're really able to see these kids in these challenge programs, which is the higher level programs for classical conversations, just developing into these amazing young adults with these bright minds, with amazing parents who are really working with them through the different subjects. And it was really awesome to see. So if there was one huge benefit for our family for classical conversations, which is this year, our foundations guide, it would be that it really gave me the forward view of what it looks like, or what it can look like, to homeschool older. So if you're just jumping on the live right now, welcome. My name is Heather and I'm back. And I am just running through the curriculum that we use this year, and just kind of giving you my thoughts on this Sunday afternoon. So you can ask a question. I see some questions coming in. You can ask some questions in the chat box, and I'd love to answer those for you after I run through these. So our spine this year, which spine in homeschooling, if you're new, is just kind of that like basis of what you're working off of, was classical this year. Throw that down. Okay, so along with classical conversations, we did use Story of the World. Now, this is our second year going through Story of the World, and you can see we're actually not even all the way through it. This is a great supplement to what the kids were learning inside of foundations in classical conversations. Now, if you do decide to join a classical conversations group in your area, you actually don't need to supplement with anything. Really, there's so much inside of classical conversations that supplementing isn't necessary. But for us, we because myself and my husband both homeschool our kids, we just wanted something actually like story time. So what was great about this book here was that it works as just stories to go along with what they're learning in classical conversations. So we didn't actually use it as like the curriculum as some people do in history. We just used it as a really good book of stories related to what they were learning in their spine, in their regular classical conversations. And I love Story of the World. I'll probably buy all of the sets of Story of the World just to have them as we work through homeschool. I love the activity books. Also, they give really good ideas, but I am not the Pinterest mom. Like, I'm not a crafty thinker. I right now am we're really just focusing on the basics. And so adding in those extra things isn't where our family's at right now. But that is something that we're working towards. But I love these books. And you can buy this on Amazon. I think it was like $20. And then I got the activity book on eBay for like $10. So keep your eye out for these. Right now is like when people start selling all their curriculum. Go to eBay, go to Amazon, great places to buy used homeschool curriculum on there. So next, for my kids who, if they were in public school, they would be in 3rd grade and kindergarten is what they would have been in. But now that we've homeschooled for a couple of years, and if you've done this too, let me know, ladies, in the comments. After a while, grades, like what grade they're in, is sort of fluctuating, because depending on what subject you're studying, or if you've combined subjects, you're not really actually quite sure where they are in school. You do know like levels wise, because most homeschool curriculums will come in like level books. But it's just interesting now that I had to think about where we are in homeschool. So we are in Horizons Math. We did Horizons Math. Let me get this one. These come in 2 book sets. So like you see, this says book 1. I don't know if you can read that. Might be flipped. This says book 1. So we have done book 1 and we're almost done with book 2 for both kiddos in math. Now we did Horizons level 3 for my older daughter. And then we did my son, who is actually just starting level 2. So he just started level 2, finished level 1. He just started level 2 already. So we love Horizons Math. We switched from Math UC into Horizons Math, and I love it. We'll go through Horizons probably until we hit the middle school grades, and then we'll look for something different. But for right now, this has been so great. This has been so great. What I love about Horizons is a couple things. One, I love how you can see this here, how much color is in it. My kids are both visual learners. My son's definitely more of an audio learner, but they're both very visual. And we've noticed that color seems to matter for them. They're able to break things up a little bit better. It just helps them to be able to do the math in sections and chunks rather than it all in the same. So, oh, I love that. Happy Mama Homeschool. You love Horizons too. Welcome. If you're in the chat, this is a live feed. So if you're in the chat, say hi. If you're watching the replay, say hi in the comments down below. So I love Horizons Math because of the colors. I also love it too because it's spiral learning versus Matthew C, which was mastery. My kids tend to do better with spiral learning, meaning they learn a concept and then they get to review other concepts. And then a new concept is introduced and they're reviewing other concepts. And so as they're working through their math, they're also still remembering what they learned before and they're building upon it over and over. What's great about Horizons also is that it can shift into other types of math programs. So Horizons, like I said, will probably go through the middle school. My friend Ashley over at Grace and Grit, her daughter is in middle school and they are switching from Horizons, testing that out this year. So go check out her channel if you need advice on switching from Horizons over because they're experimenting with that this year. But for us, we're not there yet. So we are still using Horizons and loving it. So if you are liking this, go ahead and like this. If you like this video, click the like button. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I am a homeschooling mom of two, like I said. And we are just doing some year-end review. So for language arts, man, can I just get a language arts? Like, that's how I feel sometimes about language arts. This has been actually one of the most challenging years for language arts for our kids. I think it's because of me and my husband. I don't know. We're trying to figure it out. So we're really praying through what we want to do for language arts this year. Of course, that means praying through / watching a ton of YouTube videos about what people use for language arts programs because we just haven't really found that fit yet. We've just been doing what we've been doing and it's turning into doing rather than loving and learning. You know what I mean? Like when you just do it because you're like, I got to check that box. We got to get language arts done today. And so that has been the one that has been not like slipping, but has been like not all of our favorite. I'll just put it out there because not all of homeschool is fun, right, ladies? Right? Yeah. So for language arts, this is what we've been using. For my daughter, we finished up the first language lessons. This was our third one of the first language lessons. I mean, it's basic language arts. That's pretty much what you're getting. You're getting you're getting spelling, dictation, grammar, poetry memorization, and that's pretty much what you're getting in this language arts program. Now, I started this language arts program when we started homeschooling because of the well-trained mind recommendation. And I will say, it is a good program. There's nothing that we don't necessarily like about it. We're just getting to the point where I feel like it's a lot because look, okay, you have this one, and then this is our writing program. So we also have a writing program. So with our writing program, it's reading it's reading stories. And then we just write on different pages instead of inside the book itself. But then there's narration and dictation that go along with it. Like I said, I mean, I can't really say it any other way except that language arts has been language arts this year and we got through it. So we will probably be switching to something new in language arts this year just because I feel like we're at it. We're about done. So for my son, we use the first language lesson. So this was like an introduction. This was if he were in school, he would have been in kindergarten. He started kindergarten in preschool because we started homeschooling earlier. So this is what we are using or what we used with him for language arts. As an introduction to homeschool, this was great. I really did love this. And like I said, we'll just probably be switching to something new. This also is a great introductory price for language arts. I think this book itself was like $15. The other book was about $20. So, I mean, we're talking very inexpensive investments to test out different homeschool curriculum. So first language lessons, it does go along that classical style of education. And so that again, just fit right into what we were doing. So that is what we've done so far with classical conversations. We did foundations, we did horizons math. We used story of the world as kind of a supplement for stories for history. And then we did first language lessons for language arts. All right, so moving on. We this is a lot of curriculum. Like that, this is also what else we're struggling with is like this is a lot of this and this and this and this, and we kind of piece it all together to make it all work, which does work. But for our family and the changes we have coming, we just want something that is like open and go. That's where we need kind of that open and go. So we also did, let's see, my daughters, here we go. We also did for the first year spelling UC. Spelling UC was great for getting to read great stories about what we were learning in classical conversation. So my daughter's was history. So she read some really awesome facts about people throughout history that we were learning. And then also we did, for my son, we did the level B. So his was very simple. Let me show you like how simple. It really actually for him was like a writing program more than a spelling program. And I understand their philosophy. Spelling UC has a different philosophy in spelling versus more of a natural writing style in spelling. So meaning you read great literature and you copy great literature and you'll learn how to spell through that. Now, there also is a lot to go with it in the terms of like, let me give you an example here. Okay, so like consonant chunks, like they give you all the different consonant chunks right here, and then you're supposed to find them within the story that you were given here. Sorry, this is like mirrored, but you get it. It's fine. So that's what that does. Now, as a spelling program, you're not like memorizing spelling words, and so it feels different. So we're probably going to give this another go and not necessarily make it like an everyday thing like we did this year. It probably will be, it'll probably take us longer actually to get through the next one, but I do really like the natural writing style. I've been reading a lot through how to write well through great literature, just learning how to write well. You know, that's how George Washington and Benjamin Franklin and some really great authors also learned how to write, was through reading great work and then rewriting that great work. And so I do feel like there is a lot. I've seen improvement in like their letters that they write to their grandma or to like when they're just writing different things. My daughter loves to songwrite, so she's learning different things. So I am seeing improvement in their spelling, but not in the sense of they just memorized 100 words this year and know how to spell those words as you would do in a traditional style spelling program. So I think that if you're first introduced, let me have it back here. If you are first introduced to spelling UC and you do it for 1 year, you may not see what you're supposed to see in terms of like progress with your kids. I think it's one of those programs that you have to commit to for a few years to see some changes in their actual spelling as they advance in this program. So if you use spelling UC, give me and the other ladies here your honest opinion about this spelling program also in the comment section below after this video if you're on the live, or if you're watching the replay down in the comment section below. So that's what we've used so far in that. For handwriting, I couldn't find my daughter's handwriting. It's not in the homeschool bin where it should be. So this is my son. So this year we did handwriting without tears. I thought it was a great handwriting program. Again, it's just going over the basics of handwriting. This is great. This is also very inexpensive handwriting. You can print off handwriting just like this online for free. Like this isn't anything crazy. I mean, we're just talking basic handwriting. That's W's. I mean, you could make that on Word if you'd like to. I just like that it was inside of a book. That was nice because we use this as our independent work a lot. So if I'm helping my daughter with language arts and he is needing to do something, handwriting would be on his list because it's a good practice for him and a good filler. So we will probably continue using handwriting without tears or researching other ones that are out there for my daughter who's getting more advanced. So if you're liking this video, let me know. It's kind of long so far. Another thing I recommend, so much to parents who are trying to teach their kiddos how to read is this book, The Ordinary Parent's Guide to Teaching Reading. Loved this book. We're actually still working through it little by little with my daughter also. So my son's using this and his reading has just advanced so much. We did some assessment testing and he's 6 and he's already reading at like a 4th grade level. And that could just be an anomaly, or it could be that it was this book, because this is how I taught him how to read. My daughter learned how to read through the public school system and from us at home, not this way. And so that's why we were going back and we're working out some lessons with her. So she actually loves doing this because it's like her easy work. But I love that it's still cementing the foundations. I think the number one critical thing you could do as a new homeschool mama, if you are new to homeschooling and you're wondering, what do I choose? There's so much curriculum. I don't know what to do. Teach them the basics. Teach them the basics. If they do not understand the basics, they will not understand the intermediate and the advanced when you get there. And that's where the struggle happens. That's one thing that CC really opened up for me. Classical Conversations really opened up to me, is that I would rather spend 2 extra years teaching them the basics, where it's like, we've already learned that, but we're going to learn it again, and we're going to say it again, and we're going to go through it again. Because if they don't understand the basics, they will not understand the immediate and the advanced. And so what we want to do is we want to make learning fun and feel easy. That's the best part about learning, is when it's fun and it feels easy, right? When you learn to do something new and you've struggled through the basics a couple times and then you do the basics again and you're like, oh, that is easy. That's when breakthrough happens. And so that's what our philosophy on how we want to teach our kids is, really cementing the basics. So you could do this with a kiddo that is already homeschooling and that is maybe struggling to read. This is a great book to do this. So what I love, again, it's not very difficult. It's very easy. You say this, I say this, we say this together. It's very, very easy. There are some options for extra activities. We've not done like any of those extra activities. We just pretty much walk through what it says for that reading lesson and then we're done. And what's really cool is that I see this actually impacting them more than the language arts because this is fun to them. This is a quality time with us, and it's fun and easy. And so this has been really fun to do as a family. The Ordinary Parent's Guide to Teaching Reading. I think it's on Amazon for like $25. I'm going to leave links to everything I talked about in the description below. Those links will pretty much link you to where I get the best deals, which will be Amazon, eBay, or the Christian bookstore, christianbooks.com, I think is what it's called. I can't remember. I think so. I buy everything online. I have not gone to a curriculum fair yet. So I am an online shopper, and that's where I buy it. If you buy something through my link, you're just supporting this channel. And then I'll get to some Q&A. So let's see. This has been great. I know it's mirrored, so sorry about that. Long story short is our Bible that we're going through. So this isn't necessarily curriculum. Actually, you could do this with your kiddos if you're not homeschooling. This has just been introduced to us this year, and I love so much the interaction, the questions, just how our kids are really diving into the Bible. It's really important for our family that our kids know and love Jesus. And so for us, this is a really great introduction to the Bible. We start in Genesis and we work our way through. And what I love is that it's pointing to Old Testament and New Testament. So it's showing the promises that have been fulfilled. And it's just a really great book, a really great curriculum. It goes through 3, 4, and day 5. So it's 5 days a week. And then as a family, the other 2 days, we are discussing what we learned at church, or we are talking about what we learned this week in this book. We're reflecting on that. So we are doing Bible every day in our family as just a foundation for learning with our kiddos. And they're reading from that. They're answering these questions. They're doing the little activities that would be in here. They're learning how to pray through this. Like, it's just a really great one. So this is called Long Story Short. I'm just reading it backwards for you here. Love, love, love. Lastly, this is our last thing. For classical conversations this year, we were in anatomy. We were in the cycle that has anatomy. Cycle one, pretty sure is what it was. Was it cycle three? Can you tell it's been a long year? I don't even remember what cycle it was. We were in American history. Come on, moms, help me out. What cycle are we in? Um, we did human anatomy, and so science for our family involves a lot of nature. And so with that, thank you, Beth. We're in cycle three. Thank you. Are we going to cycle one? Is that what it was? I don't remember. You go on yeah, anyways. So shows you that you don't really have to maybe know everything. You just go with what is in the book. That's what I do. I go with what's in the book. We did human anatomy. And so I just ordered these again off of Amazon. And these were great. It is a lot of words. We would read this to our kids, and we walked through coloring the different pieces of our body, and walks through all of it. You know, it walks through your brain, and it walks through your spine, and it just does the whole human anatomy. And then I just pulled a couple different things off of Pinterest that we did one time. So that's what we did for human anatomy. It would be the reading list as well as individual reading options. So basically, I said, here's the books you can choose from, choose these books. And they did. And then we read through all those books. And then for the last like 2 months or so, they've really just been choosing their own books. And I've kind of let go of being a stickler on like the level of book that you're reading, and all of that. So I think Kaylee right now is reading through a comic book. Obviously that's not like enriching to her, but we have so much reading that we're doing in school. So our family read aloud, story of the world. I mean, she's getting a lot of advanced reading in, and so it was a lot more of that fun reading is what we kind of wrapped out the year. So that is our curriculum review. For our family, we will probably, because we unfortunately are not continuing classical conversations next year because our family is moving, we will not be doing that. But we are going to be still following that classical Charlotte Mason model, just in terms of keeping our foundations book and just running through that as a family, but we will not be involved in the community aspect of classical conversations. But I do highly recommend it if you're new to homeschool. It was a great introduction. And like I said, for us, it allowed us to really see what homeschooling through all of the years looks like and all the different stages of homeschool. One thing that was hard when I first started homeschooling was I have homeschooling friends, but none of us were like doing the same curriculum. Like we would be doing the same spelling, or we'd be doing the same this, but none of us were like actually following like the same core. And so with classical, what was great was I had like between my two kids' classes, I had about, I don't know, 10, 15 moms that if I had a question about something, they were right there. I mean, it was a support group. It was the kids with their tutors were amazing. Just our director was amazing. So I felt like we had an amazing experience with classical conversations, but we will not be continuing next year. And so with that, we are looking at changing our language arts program. I'm looking into a history program. And so I'm really excited to be seeing what other possibilities are out there, because we've really done like the same history and language arts the entire time that we've homeschooled. And so I'm excited to kind of explore some other things that are out there. So that concludes the video for today. I'm going to be taking some questions, Q&A that's coming in right now. Thanks for joining me. If you just watched this entire video on replay, hit the like button. If you like videos like this, I have more coming in the future on the channel. So let me get to some of the questions that were coming in on Q&A. Wow, welcome everyone. Please advise on books for Charlotte Mason. Oh, okay. So Banna Berry asks some books on Charlotte Mason. Well, Charlotte Mason, if you're meaning like the actual style, like Charlotte Mason, she has a collection of like really thick books. For the Child's Sake was a really good book that helped me walk through what the Charlotte Mason style was. That was a great one for the Child's Sake. Another book I highly recommend to like every mama who's going to homeschool is Teaching from Rest. That's not necessarily Charlotte Mason style, but that just really allows you to just breathe through homeschool and know that it's not about like shoving this knowledge into your kids' brains, that we've been called to this, that homeschooling is a family choice and it looks different in every single family because every single child is created uniquely by God. And so it is an individual experience. And it just really helps to know that even every year can look different, which has been something I've really been leaning into as our family's walking into these new things that are happening with us. And so I just really recommend every mom watching this video read that book. We actually just became members of the Read Aloud Revival. Also, who wrote it. We just became members of that. That's not what I'm talking about, but that is her book. So those are the books I'd recommend for you, Banna Barry. Thanks for being on today and watching the chat. Beth says, I would love to hear your reason for stepping out of classical conversations. Oh, Beth, I hope you're on the chat. Let me know if you heard why. Our family's actually just moving. So we weren't going to be joining a new community just because we have some other changes happening in our family. We are stepping into adoption. And with that, we are also doing some other things with my business that I'm a part of. And so because you are paying to be there on certain days of the week, it doesn't work for our family schedule this year. And so we're going to still be working through classical conversations as just a family, just as a morning activity work that we're doing together, but we're not going to be using the usefulness of the community aspect of classical conversations or the tutors because we cannot commit to being at classical conversations on the day that it is offered in our area. So that's kind of where we are at with that, but I highly recommend it, highly recommend it for options for parents. Happy Mama Homeschool, excited to see you and what worked for you. I'm excited to see you. I am so excited to be back on YouTube. If you didn't know, we didn't like announce to everyone, but my daughter and I were in a very severe car accident in February, very severe. We were hit from behind by a large truck at 60 miles an hour. And my daughter and I were both rushed to trauma. We've had a long recovery. Thank the Lord, neither of us have any lasting physical damage, but we are still working through recovery, what that looks like for us. And so I had to step away from this channel for a little while because I also run a media company. And so my one was to get better. 2 was to be there for my daughter and my family. And then 3 was to work. And we have had a blessed year in our job, in the company that I'm a part of. And YouTube just had to be put on hold. And so as much as my heart is here to give to you women and to be a part of this community online of women who are sharing their experiences and just really showing what it can look like to live differently, we had to put it on hold because of that car accident. But I am back and I'm feeling better and I'm really excited that you're here. And I'm so glad that you got to see our homeschool curriculum. So thank you, Happy Mama Homeschool, for being here. Next is Foothills Family. Hi, we have been with Cece going on 5 years now. She loves Story of the World and excited to see this. Yes. Cece is just great for that, right? It's these families walking through it together year after year. And I just loved that experience. I thought that was just such a great, fulfilling experience that, your kids are being with these same kids and they're walking through it. It's almost like getting a little part of that like school experience, but still within the home. And I really loved that. So I encourage you to check out Classical Conversations if it's in your area. All right, let's see. Happy Homeschool Mama. We love Horizon Math too. Happy Mama Homeschool. We should be friends on social, right? You and I seem to be getting along very well. So love how honest you are, Kristen. I'm not a very crafty homeschool mom either. Let me just raise my hand. And also let me just say this. I am not the primary homeschool parent in our homeschool. Let's just call that out with what it is. My husband actually is home full time with the kiddos. We work from home. We homeschool together, but I am not the primary teacher. I am a secondary teacher in our homeschool, and my husband does the bulk of the work. And so homeschool, and this is not something he like thought was going to be his life, but he is loving it. And so we're going to have him on to help encourage dads to really help in the homeschooling experience too. So I know that that's not unusual. Now that I've been in the homeschool community for a while, I know that there are a lot of dads that homeschool, but the support necessarily isn't out there the same way as it is for us moms. And so I just have to say that, he's definitely not crafty at all. And so the craftiness in our home is like at a 0 level right now. I mean, we let them make slime. That's let's do crafts today. We're gonna make slime. That's where we are right now. But yeah, that's where we are. I work full time. He is at home full time. We're in ministry together, and we just love it. So that's our homeschool situation right now. Gabby says, please, can you help me convince my parents to homeschool me? I just feel really uncomfortable at public school. Gabby, my advice to you would be to sit down and have a conversation with them. They're probably scared about homeschool, and you have to realize that it's a commitment for the parent as much as it is for the child. And so I would sit down with them, and it needs to be a discussion and a prayerful consideration for your family. And I just, my heart goes out to you. If that's the situation you want to be in, I would maybe do research yourself and bring it to your parents and then see what they think. Foothill Family, I missed the first part, but with CC, Essentials is complete language arts. Yes, I know that. That's why I'm a little like, we're not going to be there for Essentials. So yeah, so that's why we were looking at other language arts programs. But if we were staying in classical, that would not be a problem. We'd head right into Essentials, which is the next step up from Foundations. And I would love that. So do you include Bible in your homeschooling? Yes, we do. So that is the first thing we do in the morning. That's just a routine that I want to establish for my kiddos, just in life in general, is a gratitude journal and then Bible. And so we do that as a family at the table together, and we work through, long story short, together. It's basically like daily scripture reading. So here's like an option. Let me get through one here. Read Genesis 7:17 through 8:5. Think about it some more. And then it just kind of gives some age appropriate questions that are on there. And then it asks for narration through it. And so they're learning how to understand what they're reading. You're able to walk through it together, and then you pray about it together. And it gives you some promptings for things to pray about. So yes, Bible is very important to our family. It is not the reason that we homeschool. We homeschool for a lot of different reasons, but whether they were in public school or private school or homeschool, Bible would be a part of our lives. And so that is just something we incorporate every day in our homeschool. So first language lesson, Rachel, first language lessons isn't my favorite. But what I do like about it is level 1 introduction book is not worksheet based. Yes, Rachel. I agree. I agree. That's why I love we did it the first one, and then we did it with my son, and I loved it. I thought it was great. The first book I thought was really good. It's more verbal communication and talking through it. My kids love that one-on-one time. Exactly. Rachel just said it right there, ladies. That is what I loved about this. I'm like going through my big thing of this one, first language lessons level 1, so good, very conversational. Like, look at this pretty picture. I mean, it's like very much a lesson book to just walk through while they're like eating snack. I mean, it doesn't have to be like, it's school time, kids. I mean, this could be like they're playing Legos and you're just talking to them. It's very easy to introduce language arts, grammar, poetry memorization to them. So how long do you homeschool every day? Great question, Gabby. My husband and I were just talking about this because of the dynamics of our family. We homeschool probably about 4 hours a day. I would say probably about 4 hours or so. We get started by 9 o'clock. We get done with most of the stuff by noon. Then we do a lunch together. Then we have quiet time every day. And that is just for everyone in our family. It's good to have togetherness, but it's also good to just have some quiet reflecting time to draw or color or read or sleep or, just let your body rest. And then we come back and we do things like history and science, or we go to the library, or we go on a nature walk, or we go to the trampoline park, we go swimming, or we do something like that. So that's kind of like how long it takes right now for homeschooling. I know as we get into the upper ages, it does take longer, but it's nowhere near like a full day at all. I mean, wait, let me take that back. Depending on how the kids are doing, it could be a whole day. If you're a homeschool mom, say amen, right? There are just some days that just take forever and you just want to quit. And then there's some days where like my son will wake up at 6 and I'll walk out there and he's doing math on the floor with his Legos. And he's like, I wanted to do 3 lessons today. And I'm like, who are you? So, I mean, it's an ebb and flow, but we try and get it done before lunch, a little bit after lunch, and that's what it looks like for us. So that is where we are. Thank you, Beth, again for telling me we were on cycle 3. I just couldn't remember that all of a sudden. Didn't have some afternoon coffee. Let's see what else we have. We have, hi, I'm from Brazil. I love your channel a lot. It's to tell me so much. Thank you so much. That is, your comments, guys, are just so good. You are such a great community. I just love all you homeschool moms and non-homeschool moms. Beth, thanks so much for sharing. I totally understand the time limitations for your family at this time. How exciting that you're stepping into adoption. I know, Beth. It's like, my mind's like, with all the stuff that's happening right now. So yeah, adding on classical on top of it was like a restraint for our family. And so we really had to pray through that. And we were like, okay, if we step away for a year, that's okay. You know, like that's the thing about homeschool. Hi, buddy. Hi. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's real life right there. It was just that restraint for our family. And so that's where we were. What mic am I using? You know what? Great question. This is the Zoe mic from Amazon. If you didn't know, the business that I'm in is a media company. It's called Think Media. I'm the COO of that company. However, I'm not very techie. And so we have a lot of tech sent to us, a lot. Can you close the door, buddy? Buddy, close the door, please. Thank you. We have a lot of tech sent to us, like all the time. Companies want us to review things for our YouTube channel, Think Media. And this was one that was like sitting there and I was like, hey guys, can I try this mic out? And they're like, yeah, try it out. Tell us what you think. So I'm testing out this mic and it is on Amazon. I'll let you know. Let me know. You guys like it? Mic good? What do you think? Live. That's live for you. Let's see. What didn't you like about level 2? Level 2 for which one? For where are we at? This is level 2. Okay, we did level 2. We are on level 3. We just finished level 3 of both, right? Yeah, level 3 for both. I had to check that. I liked level 2 also. I thought it was good. I think for us, we just need something that's like, I don't know yet. So I'm still looking. What did I not like about it? It just felt like we were just like getting through language. And that's not what I want homeschool to be. I want homeschool to be enriching and fun, and not that everything in life has to be fun. That's not what I mean. I know that like there's seriousness to things. But I felt like it would be great if it incorporated multi-subjects together also. I feel like it's like very language arts. And you know, I would like to have some books that they're reading to go along with it, or have like, I don't know. I just need like one. I'm just looking at different things. So I'm looking at sunlight. I'm looking at the good and the beautiful. I'm looking at what is that other one? What is it that we do in essentials? IEW, looking at IEW. So I'm just looking at different language arts programs out there to see what's going to fit our family. Also, my husband has a lot of say so in it because he is the primary language arts teacher in our home. And so I want him to be really comfortable with it too. So that's what we think about first language lessons. I don't think it's bad. It's just for our family, it's starting to like, that's where we're at with that. Okay. We'll love you to do YouTube tips video. We want to vlog. Okay. This is what you do. You grab your phone and you just start vlogging. That's what you do. Head over to Think Media. TV. So it's youtube.com/Think Media TV. Sean Cannell over there will teach a lot about the tips and tools for getting started in video. That's what we teach. And so that is the YouTube channel that we run. So definitely check that one out, as well as video influencers. How do you get started with vlogging? You just grab your phone, start doing it. So thank you. S more to love. You like the mic. Thank you. Have I tried IEW? I've not. However, part of classical conversations is essentials. Essentials is like the next step. It's like that 4th, 5th, 6th-ish grade levels. And they use IEW as the basis for the language arts that they use in essentials in classical conversations. So if we were to be continuing with classical conversations, we would be doing IEW. I'm just doing a lot of research on that. What is her name? Over at Clover, Raising Clovers. You guys go to raisingclovers.com. She's another homeschool mom that I learned a ton from. She's used IEW with her kiddos and she really loved it. And so I've just been watching her YouTube videos. I'm no shame. I choose homeschool curriculum based on what other homeschool moms say about homeschool curriculum on YouTube. I mean, why not? I mean, they've done the research and done it. So I want to know what they think about it. So I've read a lot of her stuff. Just researching through what classical conversations does with IEW and what that looks like. So that is IEW. Not tried it yet. But that is one of the contenders for our homeschooling we start in July, homeschooling for the next levels for our kids. All right, let's see. Organizing homeschool area. Ooh, that's a great idea. Okay, let me tell you our crazy, weird thing that we might do. So our family is moving. We might downsize to a condo. I know, crazy. I say this now, it's being documented on YouTube. I'll probably end up with like a giant house, but my goal is that I want to live in a tiny home one day. And so we might downsize, which means we'll lose the homeschool room. And so I'm feeling really challenged to like purge through the homeschool room and just homeschool in the home. So if you homeschool just in your home, don't have a homeschool room, let me know. If you have a channel about that, if you have content about like homeschooling in small spaces, I want to see your stuff. So let me know in the comment section down below. That's just crazy, funny things. Banna, so good. Sean and I actually are not married. So we get this all the time. So we are actually just partners. So he's actually the face of the business and I'm the COO of the business on Think Media. And so we are not married. We actually just both happen to live in Vegas and be partners, or not part, like, we work on this channel together, or work on that channel together, as well as a whole team. So yeah, but he's great. Sean's great. Yeah, great. Thoughts on handwriting and cursive, trying to plan how to implement that. Oh, great question. I know there's a lot about like, you should just teach them cursive right away, or just handwriting is part of life, or they should have a handwriting curriculum. We used handwriting as a filler. Meaning if they needed to have some independent time, hey, Nathan, I'm working with Kaylee over here on math. Why don't you grab your handwriting book and go sit at the table with your oranges and eat those and do your handwriting? So we used it as just another way for them to write. Throughout the day, they start by writing in their thankful journal. Then they're writing in their language arts program. Then they're writing for different history things they're writing throughout the whole day. And so a handwriting specific program, I think, is really good for littles. Cursive, I know that there's debate back and forth, like, should you teach cursive first, or should it just be, root, what's it called? I need coffee. Cursive or non-cursive, regular print first. We just did regular print. I felt like that was just, there's only so many decisions I can make. And so I was like, decision made, we're just going to do it. And then we're going to go into cursive. So my daughter now would be going into 4th grade in public school. My son would be going into 1st grade. However, he'll probably start cursive at the end of this year. He'll probably start because his print is doing really well. And he just wants to learn. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to tell him, you can't learn that yet. You're not old enough. Like, you want to learn cursive at age 6? Let's do it. So yeah, that's how we kind of feel about handwriting. And it's different for every family. So that is just one mom's opinion. Take it with a grain of salt, but that's how we kind of looked at handwriting is that is just something they'll just be doing. And so we'll just be correcting it as they're doing it rather than like, only handwriting's in this box. You can only be handwriting now. Like we are correcting my daughter's book reports and she's having to rewrite those. Like she'll write it in print and then we say, great, now write that same thing in cursive. And like that's handwriting for the day. So that's what we do on that. All right, let's see. I have a homeschool room, spent a lot of money putting it all together and we end up doing everything in the dining room and living room. Homeschool mom. Yes. I feel you. I feel you. Like I did this great video and we have a homeschool room. I mean, really, we don't even call it the homeschool room. It's the Lego room. It's just like engulfed in Legos all the time. It's the art room. It's the everything room. But yeah, we start everything at the kitchen table. And so it all ends at the kitchen table usually, or like under my desk or out on the patio, or, it's all over the house. And so that's what's giving me the encouragement to know that like, oh, you don't actually just have to have a room to homeschool in or to like hold all your stuff. I want to get rid of stuff. I want learning to be, like right now I'm learning how to do stuff online. I don't even have like proper like books for the things I'm educating my own self on right now. And so I'm like, why are we doing this with our kids when one day they're going to be learning this way? So we're trying to go less. We're trying to go minimal. We're trying to go with not 7 types of homeschool curriculum to teach our kids. I don't think that that's necessary. And so we're as a family just on this mission to just kind of go less. That's where we're at with all of that. But I agree. It just goes everywhere. Homeschooling is like everywhere. All right. What are your gratitude journals? I must have been that. Oh, I must have missed that. I didn't bring it in here. We went to Target. We got some journals and we write the date. This is how we do calendar. Like, I want them to know what day of the week it is and how to write the different months and dates and all that kind of stuff. Every day you flip the page, write the date, and then what are you grateful for? I feel like starting with a grateful heart in the morning helps you to have a grateful heart throughout the day. And so our rule is that you cannot repeat the same thing. You can repeat the same thing once a month. And we want to be as specific as possible. So instead of saying like, I'm grateful for my brother, you want to say like, why? Why are you grateful for him? What is it that you love about Nathan? Or like a lot of times Nathan's very much, he's sick. So it's like, if it's raining, he's like, I'm grateful for rain. If I say like, pull your thankful journal out and he sees like the oranges sitting there, he's like, I'm grateful for oranges. And so it's teaching them how to spell a lot of different words. It's letting them think creatively and then they can draw a picture. They can, color it how they want, or they can just write it and be done. But starting with gratitude journals is something I am really passionate about. I think teaching our kids gratitude is something that is really important and is almost being slightly missed in the next generation. It's more about what they get versus what they already have. And so we want to be teaching them good principles about what they're already grateful for in life. All right, let's see. A couple more questions, guys, and then we will be ending the video. So okay, let's see where it says. Do you give writing prompts to them for their journaling, especially for your kindergartner? I do not. We don't actually do very much. Actually, thankful journals is the only quote unquote creative writing that we do at this level. Everything else is pretty much copy work or dictation. And so gratitude journals is the only one. We don't do like just journals. Interesting enough though, both of my kiddos do it on their own. Both of them have their own ways of expressing their own selves. So my daughter will songwrite. She has her own little like daily journals that she does. We just have a lot of conversations. And so what I do is I will look up different writing prompts and I will actually just incorporate those into conversations with the kids. So, so right now it is starting to become really warm where we live. And so one of the writing prompts that I read was like, look at the 3 plants in your area and write a story about them. So I'll just say like, we'll be sitting on the patio and be like, look at that cactus and look at that other flowery. I wonder how they got there. Like, where do you think they lived before they were here? And then they just tell a story. And so we don't do any like creative writing yet. I feel like they need to be cemented more in like good language before they can get really creative. And for my kids, at least, not for every kid, because I know a lot of creative kids that do this really well at young ages. Uh, they just express themselves in other ways versus creative writing per se. So, oh, hi, Kaylee. I guess my daughter's on watching this, probably out there in the living room with dad watching the hockey game. So, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like videos like this, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you are not a subscriber yet, what that does is that allows that when a video goes live like this, or I publish a video on my channel, you have the option to either see that video right when it comes out or to be able to get notified during the day when that video is released if you want to keep up with the latest and greatest happening here on this channel. So hit that subscribe button if you are not yet subscribed. You can change it by hitting the bell. Hitting that bell is really important because that allows you to get notifications, and then leave a comment. Those are the 3 ways that YouTube sees that you like content like this. So it'll show my content as well as other amazing content creators on this platform that you may not know yet. So my videos will come up as well as good suggested videos by other creators here on the platform. So if you like videos spending your time here today. Thank you so much and have a great day. Bye.